Despite the loss, the Jays still hold a 3-game lead in the American League East. Their magic number to secure a playoff spot remains at 3, and with some help, could lock up a berth in the postseason with a win tonight. Joining us now is Toronto Sun and Blue Jays beat reporter and columnist Rob Longley. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, good morning.
Let's get into this, shall we? 20-1. Don't want to see a score like that as we get closer to the postseason here at the end of this month. Max Scherzer did not look like himself, but take us through what happened last night.
Yeah, it was really an ugly night for the Blue Jays, obviously, on so many fronts. The champagne was on ice. They were ready to celebrate a possible clinching of a playoff spot, and essentially the game was over after the first inning. But this team, they've gotten to this point this season by being very resilient and having a resolve and being able to put immediate results behind them and sort of focus in the next day. So, they'll go back to Kansas City tonight and try to lock up a spot there against the Royals. But there are bigger goals in mind here of just slipping into the playoffs. So they're looking at clinching the American League East. So with a week to go in the regular season, they've got to sort of buckle down and take care of that business.
Yeah, and especially, even one of those top 2 spots in the American League overall gets them by through that wild card round, which has been so brutal for them the last number of times they've been to the playoffs. I'm curious, Bo Bichette hurt for the rest of the year. You see a score like that. I know you've mentioned the resiliency of this team, but, for you, any reason to be concerned? You want to be playing your best baseball going into the playoffs, and a result like that certainly doesn't help.
Yeah, that's 100% the way it is. There are some concerns. This team has been better offensively for much of the season, and now they're struggling a little bit. I think they're showing some signs of some weariness and some signs of maybe a little bit of inexperience, and they certainly are missing Bo Bichette in that lineup. But yes, you do want to go into the playoffs playing your best, and I think has to be the focus over the remaining 8 games that they can get through next weekend with a little bit of momentum so that they can get some of that confidence back. Because as you mentioned, the last 3 playoff experiences for the Toronto Blue Jays have not gone very well at all.
Yeah, no, it's been extremely tough. I'm curious, too, there's been a lot of focus, a spotlight on the bullpen for a lot of this year and the struggles that a lot of them have had, including, again, closer and Trevor Hoffman for it in the next little bit. So they have a bullpen game, too, last night, and they're going to need a little bit more from their starting pitching here in the next little bit. What do you expect in this next week leading up to the playoffs when it comes to the rotation and how important the role that's going to play?
Yeah, there's certainly some questions to be answered in terms of how they're going to roll out that rotation for the postseason, because there's been a couple of guys who have struggled down the stretch, Max Scherzer notably, especially last night. And we've seen the young rookie come up, Trey Yasavage, and he was brilliant in his first career start. We'll have another opportunity to build upon that tomorrow. And then they're going to have to decide on who their top 3 guys are going into the playoffs. Right now, it looks like Kevin Gausman and Shane Bieber, with question marks the rest of the way. So certainly some questions to be answered on the final turn through the rotation. And then they've got to shore up the bullpen situation as well, because as you've mentioned, it has been an area of concern at various points during the season. Closer Jeff Hoffman has struggled of late. His velocity on his fastball is down, which is somewhat alarming for a lot of people around the Blue Jays. So yeah, there's so many things that they have to address. Even though they're in a great position in the standings right now, they've got to sharpen up in a number of areas before the playoffs begin.
Yeah, and you mentioned just a little over a week to do that. Toronto Sun, Blue Jays beat writer and columnist Rob Longley, thanks so much for this, Rob. Appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure.